Hello, Raw Vegan Heroes. Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to our live stream for Friday, May 16th, 2025. Here we go. So happy to see everybody here. We got people coming on. Hello to everyone who's already in the chat. We're going to have people coming in. Hello, Chris Lee. Hello, hello. All right, guys, this week's session here on this live stream is going to be extremely powerful. This is going to be a really important deep dive into the nature of our health, of our healing, of our leadership, and the principles of transformation to give us the life of our dreams. Okay, of course, we come to Raw Vegan Heroes to learn about better diet and better lifestyle. And there's key components that really make health and healing possible. It goes beyond diet. It goes beyond nutrition. It goes beyond our physical body because, after all, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience here in this body. And the most important thing for the health of this body is the connection from our mind, body, spirit, and the health of our consciousness, the belief in ourself, the joy, the connection, the purpose we have in our life. And so I'm going to talk about here, before we get started, we have amazing Q&A. I'm going to talk about my theme for this week, which is the most important nutrient for healing. The most important nutrient for healing. This is going to be a really, really important topic that's going to help you guys immensely. Now, I, of course, am Shane Sterling. You guys know me, right? But I'm at your service here today. I am a student and a servant of the truth. I've been working on my highest level of service and expression and leadership and artistry of life my whole life. And I've never really been able to settle. My personality doesn't allow me to settle. So I've always strived to do better. I've always strived for the best level of health. I currently work out, 5 or 6 days a week at the gym. I'm a raw vegan. I'm highly disciplined in my diet and my lifestyle and in my business. I have a very successful coaching business. Of course, my Raw Vegan Rising company, my YouTube channel, very successful. My social media channel is very successful. But there's a reason behind it. There's a reason behind that. And this is the nutrient that fuels our body and our mind and our soul connection. There's a nutrient that's far beyond that which we eat physically, but that which we consume spiritually. And it's a nutrient that drives our success physically. It drives our success mentally, and it drives our success spiritually. So it's very, very important to understand the most important nutrient for healing of our mind, body, soul, our life structure, our discipline, our fulfillment, the purpose we feel in our life, the service we can provide in our life, and ultimately our happiness. Happiness doesn't come because we make life easier on ourselves. Happiness comes through fulfillment. Happiness comes through structure, through discipline. Happiness comes when we do the hard thing that leads to the best results, no matter how hard it is. And sometimes our mind can get weak. Sometimes our mind can get fatigued. Sometimes our mind wants to give up. But deep down in our soul, there's a burning desire. There's a true need deep in our soul for the deepest level of healing of our consciousness. So I wanted to make an announcement before I talk about this week's theme, okay, the most important nutrient for healing. I wanted to mention that starting June 1st, we have Gut Health Rehab, starting with Slava Spark, our amazing moderator in the group, who's going to be leading this program. And Slava is such an amazing coach. She's so extremely knowledgeable and disciplined herself in her diet and her lifestyle. She's had profound healing, and she's leading Gut Health Rehab to help provide this value to you guys. And so I wanted to just mention this. Now, Gut Health Rehab starts June 1st. This is for people who need private one-on-one support for rehabilitating the physical body, the gut, the mind connection, the microbiome. Let me just take a moment to share what Slava is going to be offering in the Gut Health Rehab program. I'm going to share my screen really quick. Okay, so here's Gut Health Rehab. You go to my website, rawveganrising.com. Okay, and you go to the Work With Me tab here at the top. And then you go down here to Gut Health Rehab and click on this, and it opens this up. Now, Gut Health Rehab is a 6-week gut healing transformation experience with our expert coach, Slava. This is for rehabilitating the gut microbiota for total body health. You get private coaching with Slava for 6 weeks. You get a 15-minute intake call to speak with her on the phone, unlimited voice and video messaging during business hours, a weekly Zoom meeting for face-to-face time with your coach, private Facebook group and community. Okay. Also, an after the fast juice fast refeeding guide. If you've done a juice fast, okay, I'll put myself back on the screen. If you've done a juice fast and you need help refeeding, this is a perfect opportunity to get that coaching to really make the most use of your juice fast. Okay, so there's an after the fast juice fast refeeding guide. Here we go. What else is included is the microbiome rebuilding guide, understanding the vagus nerve, raw food foundation guide, and look, there's bonuses. The Body Vitality and Recovery Guide, Emotional Resilience, and the Life Purpose and Spiritual Health Guide. Gut Health Rehab starts June 1st in 16 days. And right now, Slava is being very generous. For a limited time, you can get 75% off working with her. That makes the price $399. You can click on this checkout page, look, and you can see it's normally $1,596 for Gut Health Rehab, but right now with the discount for early bird signups, it's $399. And here you can read everything that's included in the program. Again, I highly recommend you click on this and look. And also you can even use Afterpay here, which allows you to do 4 payments of $99. So if you don't have the full $399, you can make a payment. Gut Health Rehab is really a high value program working with an extremely qualified coach, and Slava is just amazing. And I'm so honored to have Slava as part of our team. So Gut Health Rehab starts June 1st. Don't let your juice fast go to waste just eating whatever. Don't just deal with health problems and gut problems. There's just no reason. Give yourself that support you need. Gut Health Rehab is an amazing program. Slava is an amazing coach, and it's very affordable right now. So cheers to that. I got my green juice. Guys, I'm going to talk about this week's theme. Before we get to the Q&A, and we have amazing Q&A from members this week. I'm looking forward to getting over there. I'm not going to take up too much time, but I really wanted to share some really important leadership principles for you. Now, the purpose of this live stream and my leadership and my service to you right now is understanding leadership principles that transform our life at the highest level. We're going to talk about the most important nutrient for healing. I want you to take notes on this, pull out a pen and paper and write this down. It's so critically important. The most important nutrient for healing is not in the food, because the food is a byproduct of the body. The body needs food, but the body exists because of our spiritual divine presence that comes into our body and animates our body. And your spiritual divine presence has a reason for being here. And this is number one reason on my list, what the nutrient is. This is the nutrient, okay, that you truly need, the spiritual nutrient for healing. This allows your body to heal. This allows you to reverse the diabetes and the obesity and the inflammation. Okay, this allows you to have the sexy body, the confidence, the beauty, the aura that radiates out, so people trust you and flock to you, so that you can be the leader that you were designed to be, so you can contribute on a massive level to this earth. That nutrient is purpose. Your divine presence came here for a purpose. Write that down. Purpose. Purpose is the missing key It's the missing nutrient. And if you do not have purpose, your health problems can spiral out of control. You can let the weight gain get overpowering. You can let the inflammation get overpowering. You can let poor health, poor mindset, poor leadership, poor job, poor relationships overtake your life. But at the root core, your divine self has a purpose for this earth. It's a real will to live. Why did you come here to this planet, and what is your purpose to live? You have to stay connected to that. Your life matters. And one of the caveats to life is that people forget that our life matters, and we think that our life doesn't matter. And we're going along in our life just surviving, just getting by day to day, when we need to connect with our purpose. It's not about putting food on the table every day or paying the bills or going to work or making sure that, you're upholding the house of cards. All that can fall apart as long as you are working on your purpose. The purpose drives the deepest level of healing, transformation, and fulfillment. Purpose is your reason for being on the planet that your soul gave you before you came here to this planet. Your purpose is a divine birthright. It is the secret nutrient deep in your soul that you are thirsting for. You are desperate for. If you don't feed yourself your purpose, your mission on earth, you will lose sight of what matters most. Your divine purpose matters most. It gives you a will to live. It gives you a mission. It gives you strength. It gives you courage. It gives you a vision. It gives you unstoppability. It gives you authenticity. It gives you responsibility and contribution. It gives you something to be enrolled in and connected with, and people can feel it, and people will flock to you. It will make you happier, more beautiful. It will give you more money and influence. It'll give you more reach and impact and fulfillment for your life. Now, number 2 on my list, I want you to write this down too. The most important nutrient for healing requires that we uncover our gifts, because built into the purpose that our divine presence gave us on this life, in this life and on this earth, is gifts. We have gifts to give. We didn't come here just empty shells. We came here with deep insights and gifts to give. Okay, so it's very important that we spend the time uncovering our gifts. Now, there's no more honoring to God and God's divine purpose for us than to uncover our gifts. Our gifts are not just ours. God gave us these gifts. These are divine gifts that we were given to share, to bestow upon the physical dimension, the third dimension, planet Earth, the plants, the animals, the humans, to bestow into the fabric of reality, the plants and the trees and the vines and the wind and the sunlight need your gifts. Okay, you didn't come here cut off from the one. You came here as part of the one. This is why your life matters, and it's required that you uncover your gifts. This is a nutrient for your soul. Oftentimes, we can look back at our original wounding for clues as to what our gifts are. Oftentimes, the area of your life where you were first betrayed or heartbroken, or your original wounding, that's an area of your life where your gifts were bestowed upon you. Rumi says the wound is where the light enters us. So our wounding is a paradox. It holds the deepest scar and shame of our life, but it also holds Pandora's box, the endless access to the divine gifts that we were birthed with here on the earth. Now, we often think that traumas happen to us randomly, but they're built into our soul signature. And oftentimes our original wounding is a pre-organized experience. It's a predestined experience because we agreed to these types of lessons, which give us specific access to information, wisdom, and knowledge. So for instance, if your wounding is related to, say, emotional abandonment, That gives you a deep insight into what emotional abandonment is, what it feels like, what it looks like. Your gifts might be in helping others with emotional abandonment. But unless you uncover your gifts, you'll never step into that to find your purpose, which is the missing nutrient for healing. If you have health problems, if you're underweight or overweight, if you're suffering or struggling with sensitivities, bowel sensitivities, digestive sensitivities, EMF sensitivities, if you're not confident, if you don't know who you are or why you're here, you have to uncover this original wounding and the gifts you were given to find and apply yourself to the purpose of your life. Okay, and number three on my list, write this down, everybody. The most important nutrient for healing, this is the third step of this concept of purpose, is a pathway to service. We're not told we have to forge a pathway to service. We're not educated on it. We're not given tools for this in school, or in our society, or by our parents or loved ones or caregivers, because we're all lost. We're the blind leading the blind. But to develop our highest level of leadership, we must forge a pathway of service, to apply our gifts that we have excavated, that we've uncovered, ultimately to live into our true divine purpose. And the way we do that is through a pathway to service. You listening right now are responsible for your service. And if you don't have service, you're missing the most important vital nutrient for your healing. I don't think there's any way to heal physically without your pathway to service. I don't think there's any way to overcome the trauma, the weakness, the sensitivity, the self-doubt, the crippling health problems, the crippling fatigue, the crippling anxiety. There's no way to overcome it without your pathway to service. Your pathway to service is your expression of God's divine will for you, and it makes you unstoppable. This is how we leave our legacy. This is how we leave our legacy on the earth, because it's not just our legacy, it's God's divine plan for us. We came here as a servant of God's legacy. We are responsible for leaving our legacy in honor of our divine purpose. Okay, our divine purpose includes us, but it's bigger than us. And so forging a pathway to service is what I teach. It's what I train people on in my business mastermind. So Raw Vegan Heroes is an amazing program. It's an amazing group. But there's a point where we can't go any further with juice fasting and detoxification and physical healing, because we're missing the most important vital nutrient for our healing and our transformation and our full actualization and leadership, which is developing our purpose, and that through that pathway of service. So this is what I help people with in my business mastermind. My business mastermind is my higher end group coaching program that happens after this live stream. We meet on Zoom every Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time. We have many members of my business mastermind who are on right now. Hello to you guys. I know you know who you are. And so having the support to develop our pathway of service, to take our divine gifts and apply them to the earth, whatever that is, through, now for me, it's been developing my Raw Vegan Heroes membership and helping people detox, helping people juice fast. I know that if one person can do a 40-day juice fast properly, the living nutrients in the juices will change the microbiome, will change the microbial balance in the body, leading that person away from the cooked food paradigm, the cooked meat and the heavy oils and the burdensome denatured cooked food. And it'll just shift slightly toward that higher vibrational experience. So my gift and my service to humanity is helping people just with that little shift. Okay. And a little shift can go a long way. So it doesn't need to be complex. In my business mastermind, as an example, I help people develop their niche, how their original wounding uncovers our pathway to service, and how we can apply ourselves to people, and also how we can make a living doing it, offering, very inexpensive programs or services or coaching. And so I call it my business mastermind because I help people with their full actualization with income. And so they can have abundance and be in alignment with their true divine birthright, you know. But it goes beyond that. It's leadership skills. It's understanding our true purpose and mission on the earth, and how to be more confident, and how to develop our voice and step into a higher level of power. This is what I've committed myself with. And I just wanted to share something really cool with you guys before we get to the Q&A. My first major business that I put my heart and soul into was called Funk and Flash. It was a costume clothing store. And I put my heart and soul into Funk and Flash. It was truly the first time I ever put my real gifts into a business from my original wounding, like full expression, to totally actualize myself, my purpose. And I have this. I wanted to share this with you. This is a painting that somebody made of my business, Funk and Flash. This was on the street. This was the street view. So if you were standing on the street, this is what my business looked like. And somebody painted this for me, and then they came into my store and gave it to me. This is because my business, Funk and Flash, was very, very powerful. People could feel my intention and my purpose and my gifts and my pathway to service. They could feel it. And so it was very inspiring. And the woman who painted this painting did this painting as a service to me because she felt my service to the community. And so it's that reciprocal paying it forward. Now, this was back when I was 35 years old. Today I'm 52. Okay, so this was years ago when my kids were just babies. My kids were just little, and I was in my mid 30s. But this is the result. Okay, this painting exists because of my pathway to service. Okay, because I uncovered my gifts. I did the work to figure out my gifts, and it was my purpose at the time. But I had a feeling, a calling in my heart that there was a deeper level of purpose calling me forward. And that's when I sold that business to become a coach, to become a detoxification coach, helping people juice fast. And then just last year, this is why it might be a little harder to see. This was created by one of our members in Raw Vegan Heroes, Kelly Jepson, who painted this or drew this and sent me a picture of it. And I was like, that's amazing. Can I have it? And he sent it to me, and I put it in this frame. So it's framed. I hang it on my wall here in my office. But it says, New Adventures, Raw Vegan Heroes Community, reclaiming our power and purpose together at the highest level. This is because Raw Vegan Heroes was my next deepest level of my service work and developing my pathway to service. This is the result of me getting out of my own way and forging a pathway to service that I didn't know how to do. I didn't know how, but I was committed to living into my gifts and my purpose. And so Kelly, who created this, felt that. So my two biggest businesses, Funk and Flash and Raw Vegan Heroes, both inspired artwork by people because this is my highest expression, the artistry that comes from within me. My businesses are not contrived. My businesses are soul purpose led. It's my soul purpose. This is my divine birthright. So I am here leaving my legacy through my service. And this is what I help other people do. And this is the path to healing. This is the most important nutrient for healing your body and your mind and your soul. And if you don't have that nutrient, you're not going to be able to heal physically. Physical healing requires that we have service, that we develop our gifts, we uncover our gifts, and we apply it toward a soul purpose, work, mission on this earth. Without your legacy, without understanding your will to live and how much your life matters, there's no way to heal. There's no way to heal physically. It's impossible. You will stay stuck going around in circles, thinking that the juice is going to heal you alone. It cannot. This cannot heal you alone because we're not just physical beings. We are spiritual beings inhabiting a physical body. We're divine connected. We're divinely connected to God's will for us. And so we can't separate it. All right. So if you need healing, if you need transformation, if you need to reclaim your power and your purpose on this earth, if you need to understand how to leave your legacy, that's what I'm sharing with you right now, the most important nutrient for healing. And if you have the money to invest in my business mastermind, I highly recommend it. It's the best dollar you could possibly spend because it's 6 months of in-depth personal leadership training. I've been running my businesses, Funk and Flash, the one I shared with you. I started that in 2009, almost 20 years ago now, you know? So this is really, 2008 is when I started it. So yeah, 17 years ago. And that's just the beginning. I've had businesses before that. I've been self-employed for 25 years, and being empowered at that level and developing my legacy is my path to healing. This is how I've healed myself on a psychological, mental, spiritual, physical level, and have the expression of who I am now as a 52-year-old man. I don't look beat down by life like a lot of 52-year-olds. I don't look exhausted and downtrodden and all gray and wrinkly. I'm not burdened by the death and suffering of animals. I'm not burdened by animal DNA in my body. I'm not burdened by pretending that I can get through life without the most important nutrient of service and purpose in my heart. I'm not lying to myself. I'm willing to do the hard thing to get to the next layer of the onion to develop myself at the highest level, even if that is very uncomfortable, even if it requires I do the hard thing, even if it requires that I stretch into the unknown. That's what I do. And I highly encourage all of you to do that exact same thing. You must do it. You must do it. There's no other way. You must do it. Okay? And it's going to give you what you want in life. It'll give you the money, the health, the service, the relationships, the fulfillment, the pride in yourself. It'll give you a will to live. It'll give you the sense of how much your life really matters. And it will give you your legacy work on this planet. It'll give you your legacy. Living a life without a legacy is not honoring God's divine vision for you. God has a purpose for you, and that is in your legacy. But if you're not living into that legacy, there is no healing for you. You'll just be one of the masses that fades into oblivion. That's not what God wants for you. You have a very powerful divine gift to bring to this earth. Okay, I hope that was helpful. That was my intro topic for this week. I'm going to go over to the Q&A right now, okay?